A couple days ago, my friends and I were talking about the news of RDJ coming back to the MCU, taking on the role of the new big bad, replacing Kang, following the real world events that happened with John Major. And my question to you guys watching the video is, do you remember the original War Machine, the actor?
Yes, Nunu.
It wasn't this nigga. It didn't used to be this nigga. It used to be Terrence Howard. I'm sure most of you niggas is like, well, that's different because, they said Terrence Howard was being like a fucking prick on set and whatnot, blah, 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 blah. Point is, they recasted him. Now, do you guys remember the Incredible Hulk movie from 2008? Of course you guys don't. Anyway, the general in the Incredible Hulk movie who also showed up in Captain America Civil War, also showed up in Infinity War, Thunderbolt Ross. Unfortunately, the original actor passed away fairly recently. I want to say maybe like a couple years ago. Fact of the matter is, they needed that character for Captain America 4. They recasted him with Harrison Ford. Now, in the case of Black Panther and Kang, these two characters are gone in the MCU. T'Challa died in the MCU canonically, and the last we saw of Kang, he got like fucking mollywop by some fire ants or something like that. Now, real world events are in play here, as Chadwick Boseman sadly passed away 4 years ago, and well, John. But I wanted to talk about what is the criteria that Marvel execs use when they're determining if they're going to recast a character or replace a character. The MCU literally has the perfect get out of jail free card with the introduction of the multiverse, as we've shown time and time again that a specific character and his variants do not have to look alike. Spider-Man No Way Home, Mr. Fantastic and Doctor Strange 2 and the upcoming movie, the Loki variants, Deadpool and Wolverine. If you guys didn't notice, these motherfuckers do not all look the same. Now, in some cases, you might have Doctor Strange, who the actor Benedict Cumberbatch plays the variants. Same thing with John Majors with Kang, he played his variants. But it doesn't always have to be like that. The character Kang could easily been recast instead of nostalgia baiting us with RDJ coming back as a Doctor Doom. That's the new big bad. I don't even think RDJ is supposed to be the main Doom. I'm pretty sure they said on stage that he's supposed to be a variant. So we already know the multiverses at play here, which pretty much also confirms that if he's a variant Doom, he's not going to be the MCU's Doom, who is eventually going to be cast with an actor. So what the fuck was the point of bringing him back if he's not even going to be the Doom for the rest of the MCU? Now, my friends had the argument against me saying, well, War Machine and Ross were very insignificant and inconsequential, unlike the way T'Challa and Kang were. Like these two roles, they're just not as big, so who cares if they get recasted? Not to mention that all of Kang's variants do look like fucking John Majors. So I understood both points. And the impact that Black Panther had on our community with a very prolific black superhero. At this point, when you think Black Panther, you think Chadwick Boseman. Same way when you think Iron Man, you think RDJ. These two are just synonymous. You cannot think one without thinking about the other. While I understand that point, for the sake of maintaining the narrative, the bigger narrative at play, why not just recast the actors? You have the multiverse. The multiverse is infinite. There has got to be a variant of this character that does not look like these actors. You don't know, the production of Black Panther 2 had a lot of controversy behind it due to Shuri's actress having a few troubles in the real world, apparently. And of course, we know what's going on with Majors. So instead of just, making a whole new narrative, why not just kick these two out? Hell, if you really want a big name to be Black Panther, go in the multiverse, find the original Killmonger that's a good guy, boom, Michael B. Jordan's the new Black Panther. If he wants to do that shit, of course. There's a world there where, T'Challa's Wakanda is like fucking wiped out, he's the last of their kind. The Avengers pop in and say, hey nigga, you don't got nothing going on for yourself? Boom. New Black Panther, new actor in the MCU. And Marvel is kind of already doing this because at the end of Black Panther 2, it's revealed that T'Challa has a child named T'Challa. The route is clearly this little nigga is supposed to grow up to become the next Black Panther, which will be a recast. So why the fuck didn't they just recast him to begin with? And the thing is, there's really no explanation as to why they can't do this, unless the writers decide otherwise. And honestly, why would you decide otherwise? You have the perfect out for when an actor wants to either retire from the role or gets into controversy. Now, it's different when the role is a mantle, like for example, Spider-Man. Like it or not, Spider-Man has become a mantle or legacy role. It does not have to be Peter Parker all the time. Obvious choice being Miles Morales. So Tom Holland's done, move on to Miles Morales. Same thing with Captain America. Chris Evans doesn't want to be Captain America anymore. Moving on to Anthony Mackie. But back to the multiverse thing with recasting actors. The most recent contender is Deadpool and Wolverine. And spoilers, Chris Evans reprising his role as Johnny Storm. And we already know the new actor for Johnny Storm and the new Fantastic Four coming out. And
Two movies do not look the same.
then there's Blade, who's reprised by Wesley Snipes, and the MCU variant being Mashallah Ali. Although I don't know if that movie's still happening or not. There's a lot of shit going on. Regardless, these two niggas do not look the same. And I can't remember for sure if the Netflix shows are canon, but we already have a technically if they are, we already have an MCU Elektra. And I'm pretty certain we had a variant of Wolverine in the movie that wasn't Hugh Jackman. So they've already established that even Wolverine isn't just Hugh Jackman. It can be other actors. I just want to bring this attention to the forefront because I feel like some of the changes that the big bosses at the head of the MCU are changing, like some of this shit does have a lot of weight. Like Kang is not like no small nigga. He is like a multiversal threat. Black Panther being T'Challa is like, I believe eventually in the comics, Shuri does pick up the role. But bro, they already had a fully written out movie for T'Challa. They could have just recasted him. Granted, I believe Black Panther 2 was more of they gave creative freedom to them to offer the tribute that, Chadwick Boseman does deserve because he did bring that character to such heights. Sometimes where people unfortunately pass away or controversy is involved and they get recasted, man. But the thing is, the multiverse is also something that's becoming very normalized. So we have things like Spider-Verse, DC animation. For Christ's sake, the multiverse is damn near in every game. The biggest game of all time, Fortnite, has the multiverse. The multiverse isn't like a complex thing to understand. Okay, so like I don't really think the argument that okay, well, the multiverse might be too confusing to some audiences. They get it, bro. They get it. That being said, as sad as the circumstances behind an actor may be, completely erasing them doesn't have to always be the only viable option.